She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Hummel, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello.
Princess.
Oh my gosh. I want to kill you. I'm going to edit that out.
Are we still going? Are we keeping it in?
Yes.
Woo!
Whatever. It's okay. I talked over it. It's fine.
Well, I love that for you.
Anyways, welcome
guys.
to Not So Straight Nerds.
Woo,
Doo,
woo.
doo, doo, doo. We have a lot to talk about today. This is our March movie recap. We've had a lot of movies come out this month, and we're starting to look towards April because that's where it's hopefully going to start picking up here. We anticipate it, but we'll see. We'll
People
see.
were thinking March is where it was going to start picking up,
Yep.
and then it didn't.
And
so
then it didn't. So let's see. It's really going to be whatever Minecraft does. Because I think Sinners is probably going to be received well, I'm guessing. But I don't know how much box office wise it's going to make. I don't know. Could be a surprise, especially if it's really good.
I would
So,
anticipate
we'll see.
you're looking probably around Creed numbers, if I had to guess.
Probably. But anyways. I
But
don't
we'll
know.
get into all that.
Yeah, let's start with the vibes. This is our fourth episode we filmed today. Is your brain mush yet?
I actually feel like I'm now officially ready to start filming today.
Okay. I still feel good. I felt like I was ready the second episode. It always takes like one episode and then I'm good and then I'm ready for a second one. But so I'm definitely good now. We've talked about a lot of these movies, and so it's not going to be a deep dive into any of them. It's more just kind of talking about it as a whole. You have some interesting feedback, I think, with some of these movies overall, and we're gonna like rank them, and I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
See.
just have some
We're
fun
not
with it.
gonna. Don't worry about spoilers. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that at all this episode.
Yeah, we should be good.
We'll try to listen in case we do say any spoilers, but I don't think that because we're not doing a deep dive into any of these, so I think it'll be pretty easy to avoid spoilers. So yeah, and we'll let you know if there will be any. So yeah, we're excited. We are going to talk about things that are in the trailers and basic knowledge about them, though. So I guess if you haven't seen any trailers for the April movies, go watch them. That's about as much as we're going to talk about as far as, like, quote-unquote spoilers. It's just what's in the trailer. So, yeah. I'm excited. We have, a lot of March movies. Not as many April movies, but we've added a lot of March movies since we first started this outline, so I imagine by the end of April, we're definitely going to have a bigger list.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because we have the streaming movies that we're
Yeah.
not tracking and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm excited. You want to start with the first, let's see. We have March 6th, which
Slash
is
7th.
/7th, because on March 6th, a rom-com, I say that loosely, called Picture This went to Prime Video. It's starring Simone Ashley, who is from Bridgerton season 2. She's Kate Shawarma, which you don't know who that is, or
'Cause I
Sharma.
haven't watched Bridgerton
Not
yet.
Shawarma, Tony Stark. I'm coming for you, Sharma. Ugh. Anyways, I'm so sorry. We also just watched the ending of the first Avengers movie, so that doesn't help either that he said it multiple times.
Lots of shawarma.
Anyways, Kate Sharma in Bridgerton season 2. She slays in that show. She slays in this movie. She's easily the standout. You have not seen that movie,
I also have
but
not.
I have because I was excited for that movie. It also stars the guy from the After movies. I forgot. I know his name is like Hero something. He's fine. He was fine in some of the. I watched like the first 2 After movies, and I was like, these suck. And then there's like 5 now. I looked it up the other day. I was like, I wonder how many of these there are, because it was like a 5 or 6 book series, which I never read the books. Oof, there's like 5 movies now, I think. Anyways, good for him and his paycheck, I guess. But
Love that for him.
he does better in this movie, I would say, than the other movies. I hated him in the. Ugh, I just hated those movies. Anyways,
Interesting. I've never heard of them before.
so it's like a.
Lucky
It's
me.
like a worse 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh.
Oof. Anyways, I regret spending my time watching those movies because everyone was watching it. So I was like, I'll watch it. And I was like, are you sure? Then watch the second one because I think it had Cole Sprouse in it or someone that I knew. And I was like, yeah, I'm not watching any more of these. And then anyways, the picture of this is a rom-com that came out on Prime Video. It's about Simone Ashley's character. I actually forgot her character's name. I should have created an outline. So sorry. It was like almost a month ago. So sorry. I have a bad memory. Anyways, she has like a photography business and she's Indian and she has an Indian family, and that's important because they use that in the themes, and they're trying to get her to get married because I think she's like in her late 20s, I want to say, and so they're like, from that culture, they're like, dude, when are you gonna get married? So then her family and her sister and her friends like all find a guy to try to like go on a date with and set her up with, and that kind of gets lost a little bit. It's more like, I would say, more of a comedy movie and a family movie rather than rom-com. They kind of forget it's a rom-com for a minute, and I wish they would have forgotten it altogether because it was the least interesting part of the movie. But anyway, she's slayed. She does end up with one of them, obviously. She ends up with, I mean, I guess the best option out of them. I guess. Anyways, as a rom-com, it's a bad movie. As a comedy and a family movie, it was cute. I had
You're really
fun.
selling this. You're giving the hard sell.
Hey, listen, I don't think it would be a waste of your time. It's much better than the after movies, I would say. There's much worse movies we've watched this month. Much worse. Absolutely. And I just love Simone Ashley, and I loved that they gave her a lead role after Bridgerton. I think she deserved it. And I also loved how they wrote her character in this movie. They wrote her as a strong, independent person, but it's also like she doesn't mind finding love. It's just not a priority for her. They focus on her business a lot. They focus on her family a lot, which I love. She has friends. She's not like a loser. She's just doing her own thing, and I appreciate that. I think that was refreshing.
I think you just accidentally summarized Snow White.
Well, yeah, they're probably pretty on par with each other if I really were to think about it.
Interesting.
But anyways, and then of course Mickey 17 came out.
Whoop whoop.
It was all right. We
It was
did a
all
whole
right.
video on that. You can watch that.
Yep. Quick summary. Clones. Are they
There's
gonna?
2 of Robert Pattinson. There's your pitch right there.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, it's the pitch. It's 2 Robert Pattinson doing the smirking emoji.
Yeah. No, it was
And
fine.
sauce.
It was fine.
Add some sauce.
Add some sauce. My sauce.
So I do think going into this month, that was definitely one of the biggest movies people were looking forward to, especially in like film circles.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think people felt when that movie came out? Do you think
I
it
think they
kicked
were
things off?
disappointing. No, I don't think it kicked things off at all. I think people had really high expectations, rightfully so, for the movie. The
Sure.
trailer looked good. You have Robert Pattinson. You have Bong Joon-ho's movie right after his Oscar win. It's like you had all the ingredients to be good, and it wasn't going to be made at some point. It got canceled at some point, or so we thought. And so the fact that they decided to release it again got everyone excited, and then you see the product. And I mean, I know some people were probably like, oh, maybe they shouldn't have released it. I'm glad they released it.
Yeah.
I'm always like,
I
bro, just release it. You made it. Just release it.
In some medium, at
yes, in
least.
some medium. But I do think, dare I say, maybe it should have gone to streaming? I don't know. I liked that I saw it in theaters.
I did enjoy seeing
it's
it in
not
theaters.
doing well
It
in
was definitely, I
theaters.
think, the second best third best movie experience I've had this year, I would say.
Interesting. Okay.
It's definitely, I'll always remember seeing it in theaters, and it's gonna be a movie that sticks with me. So
Okay.
I think I
I
will
wouldn't
always have a
even-
pretty vivid memory of it.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
Um,
I would not even say it was my third favorite. I would say it's my 4th favorite of the month.
I would say, and it's not my favorite movie of the year, but it's
Oh, okay.
experience of
Experience
like
in
watching it in a
theater.
movie theater.
Okay.
I would say it's one of my favorites that we
Yeah.
went out to go see.
Yeah, I'm disappointed it's not doing as well as I wanted it to, but it also wasn't as good of a movie as I wanted it to be. So I don't know. We
Do you
talked about a lot of this in the
So
actual
with the
episode. but-
end product,
Mhm.
what do you think the budget should have been for this kind of project?
I don't know. know. I feel like most of it went to the creepers CGI.
I mean, in that case, do you think they needed to cut back on the creepers? Because there was
No,
that
because
finale was a lot of
I
creepers.
feel like, dare I say, and this is a big change in budget, but Death of a Unicorn had just as much, if not more, it had more name power, and it had more CGI, I would say. Wouldn't you say? I mean, they had a lot more creepers, but they didn't have near as many scenes with the creepers in it as Death of a Unicorn, would you say?
I don't know. The Death of a Unicorn, it did what a lot of monster movies do, where you hide the monster in creative ways, so you just leave like parts of it. And, you know, ultimately, some of the times when you do see the unicorn is the weakest parts of the visual effects.
Okay.
So
I would say probably like $30 million or $30 to $50 million. Yeah.
I would
big
say
drop.
I would say probably ballpark it at around like 80 million. Because I do think this is still like could have been a decent blockbuster. I think I would have put that kind of money out for it.
Guys, I keep forgetting Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette were in the movie. So I feel like in that case they have an equal amount of name power. I would say.
Yeah, I would have, but where all of that money went, like, and it's a well-made, like, it looks good. Like,
I mean,
the
maybe
making of a movie is all there.
Maybe it was a little higher because they put it off. Maybe that cost them something. I don't know.
And I mean, with when it was being made, maybe it was because of refilming and reshoots.
That's true. And the writer's strike, maybe that somehow affected it. I don't know if that was going on when they were doing stuff. Yeah,
depending on how long this has been worked on, it probably hit like all 3 strikes. So
yeah,
I'm sure there was a lot of problems here. But then I don't know why this one is having so much had so many issues compared to other ones that have been released since then. So
I don't know. I would probably say like about half of its budget now, but I don't know. It's like I'm not complaining that Bong Joon-ho got a big check and big budget after his Oscar win. I think he deserved that, but then I don't feel like this movie itself deserved that budget. I didn't see that budget in this movie. It looked fine. There was no glaring like, ooh, this looks bad. It's just when you compare it to the $15 million movie, I mean, it looks better than that movie, but
is it better than that movie?
Is it $100 million better than that movie?
That's a great point.
No, I don't think so. But it is what it is.
Truly. So that's Mickey 17.
Yeah,
and I will say, so far, I think, looking at all of these, I would probably say, I think it has the best main lead.
Interesting.
Of March.
Ooh. I feel like off the bat, I disagree with that. I really, really liked...
If we haven't talked about it, you can save that reveal until we start talking about it.
Okay.
I'd love to do that.
Male lead, you say?
Yes.
Specifically? Okay.
Male lead.
I really liked Jack Quaid in Novocaine. But, I mean, it's way different role, to be fair.
Sure.
Plus, like, this is way different for Robert Pattinson versus Jack Quaid, is kind of what he does.
I would say, I think Mickey 17 is so impressive. If we had never seen Robert Pattinson before, I could imagine seeing myself being like, oh, he's just some weird guy who sounds like that. But that is not what Robert Pattinson sounds like ever.
That is true.
So I really think it's a huge acting accomplishment for him to have this big of a role especially where him talking is so prominent throughout so much of it. And it doesn't ever sound cheesy or annoying or I think he deserves a lot of credit for it.
Okay, I agree.
Yes, I hit it with the hard sell. Now I just need that for Will Poulter.
Yeah, no. Well, if he was the lead, I would say easily Will Poulter. But as far as supporting actors, definitely Will Poulter. But lead, Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I agree with that.
So on to March 14th, which
the big movie was Novocaine that weekend,
which we went in with.
We liked. We also made our own video on that as well.
Yes, so we went in with some pretty mid-level expectations, and it was it rose above them a good bit more than we expected. It had a lot of surprises. The action was pretty unique. A fun time all around.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of negative things to say about that movie, so yeah, it was a fun time.
Really fun. Love seeing Jack Quaid. And then we also had
So,
Borderline come out.
Borderline was a movie that also went straight to Prime, I think, maybe, or maybe like very, very limited theatrical release.
It did release in some theaters.
Okay, because it wasn't
So-
free to stream on Prime. We did have to rent it, but it went to very limited theaters. So it was like, by the time we watched it, which was like 1 or 2 weeks after it released, it was $6 or $7, I think.
Something
or
like that to
$8,
rent.
Something like that. Not a lot to rent.
But it was a really fun watch as well. I
That
never saw
also
a trailer
exceeded
for
our
it,
yeah.
but
I
it
did.
was really fun.
And I had high expectations because of the main two leads, which is Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son, and then Samara Weaving.
Yes.
I always say Weaver. It's Weaving.
Yep.
Okay.
And they kill that movie.
They killed
I will
it.
say, if you start watching that movie and you start feeling a little weird at the beginning, get through the first
Stick
15
with
minutes.
it. Yeah, stick with it.
And it becomes a lot of really campy fun.
Yeah. And I had high expectations when I saw the trailer, and then I saw the feedback, and I wasn't as excited. And then I saw Novocaine and how Ray Nicholson did in that movie, and I was like, oof.
Yes.
Can he do this movie? Was Smile 2 just an outlier? No. No, he does great in this movie as well. It's different than Smile 2, but he found his element. I really wonder why that did not work for Novocaine, but works for the other two movies.
Yeah, I don't know. In a movie
man.
where so much of the script does so much more work than it needs to for its characters, it's weird that
Yeah.
his just didn't.
I know. I don't know. It's like I almost don't want to blame him, but the script was there. I don't know.
Like, the script was just there for everyone
interesting.
else. I don't know if it wasn't there for him and he just wasn't eating it. But but in Borderline, he was killing it.
Yeah, I agree.
I would
agree.
say
he had a
he's-
lot of fun in that role.
He really did. Everyone in that movie had a lot of fun with their role, and you can just tell it's such a fun movie, and you have fun watching it. It's a blast.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't feel like they want to make it out alive in that movie, but
No, but most of horror movies they don't. So, well. The two movies that we really wanted to see, at least I really wanted to see, and unfortunately we didn't because it didn't come to our theater, and it was only in the other theater that was an hour away that we saw Death of a Unicorn in. We were gonna do like a double or triple feature. It was only in theaters for not even 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, which is crazy. That's what's so disappointing is that's when it's those scenarios of you are missing out on box office because of how short your theatrical run is.
Mhm.
It's very disappointing. I understand other movies are coming out, but man, not even 2 weeks. We were gonna
crazy.
see it, but oh well.
yeah.
What can you do?
No.
Did we even say what the two?
You did
movies
not.
were?
It is Opus and Black Bag.
My bad, guys. Which I didn't hear great things about Opus, but I wanted to see it because of.
At least to support our girl, Ao.
Ayo. I thought it was Ayo.
Io.
Is it Ayo?
Ayo.
Adebri?
Io Debris. Okay.
Yeah.
She's great.
From The
We
Bear.
love her.
She's also in Bottoms. She's also in Inside Out 2.
Killed both of those.
Killed it. All three of those. She was great. So I was disappointed I didn't get to see it because of her, but then I was more disappointed because of Black Bag because that also has a pretty good cast. It has, let's see, Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. Oh, and Reggae Jean Page from Bridgerton.
Is he the one who was in Secret Invasion?
No. No one from Bridgerton was in that. You're
no,
thinking
no,
of
am
a
I
different
thinking of the guy
guy.
from?
They don't even look that similar.
I have no idea what he looks like.
I know what you're talking about.
Or
Though.
am I thinking
To
of
be
the
fair,
guy
he hasn't
from-
seen Bridgerton.
Yes. Am I thinking of the guy from Dungeons and Dragons?
He is in Dungeons and
Okay,
Dragons.
yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
So great for him. I don't know how they did in the movie because I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it when I can rent it and for fairly cheap or stream it. But anyways,
Yeah, I think
So
that'll be
I've
a fun
heard good
watch. I've
things
heard some
about
pretty
that.
good things about it.
yes, I've heard good things. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see that.
But you know what we did get to
Unfortunately-
watch?
Unfortunately, what we did get to watch,
The Electric Stage.
which we unfortunately have a video on that if you want to see that, which we don't actually talk that much about the Electric State, so you could still watch it, have a good time, okay?
Yeah.
that was one of our jokes. Is like, man, the interesting parts of these conversations had nothing to do with this movie, and that about sums it up.
Yeah.
I think that's all that needs to be said about that.
I agree.
Let's move on to March 21st.
March 21st,
Our
where
big
we are
movie
looking
was
at
Snow
White's
White.
release, followed up with some counter programming from Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up,
Yes.
and The Assessment, and The Alto Knights.
Yes. Which I will say, I don't think I've talked about this yet. So, with Snow White, after we made our Snow White video, like the day after, I think is when Variety released their disgusting smear article against Rachel Zegler. I would just like to say, I've hated Variety ever since they badmouthed the Marvels before it came out and after it came out. Hated them. And then they talked bad about my girl. Well, what's her name? I just had her name in my head. It's the
Your
Scream
girl, huh?
It's the Scream Girl.
Melissa Barrera.
Yes, I love her. They hated on her, and now they're hating on Rachel Zegler. It's the same girl, same stupid girl, anti-feminist that hated on both of them.
Get her again for me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that smear campaign is not working and backfiring on them because they.
I'm glad
deserve
people are
nothing but the
pointing out
worst.
the same person is behind all of that.
Yep.
I think it is very important to recognize where some of this
You made a big
horrible
mistake
stuff
hating on
comes
the
from.
two women that were the stars of the movies you're hating on them for. Melissa Barrera was great in the Scream movies. She's great in Your Monster. And Rachel Zegler was easily the highlight. Even the people who were hating on Snow White saying this is the worst movie ever made.
She's been a highlight in almost every
Yes.
every movie that she's been in.
Yes.
Everyone has regarded her pretty much in that
She's
vein.
had such bad luck with the movies that she's been in, the co-stars that she's been a part of. But everyone's pretty much in agreement that she has not been the problem.
The co-stars she's been a part of.
Shh. Been with. She's had, let's see, 3 that I can think of positive male co-stars, which is Mike Fast from West Side Story. Should have been Tony, but oh well. And then, what's his face? Oh, Tom Blythe from the Hunger Games movie, who played the younger President Snow. And then now Andrew Burnap.
Not Burlap.
Burnap.
Hop in my Burnap sack.
What? Oh my gosh. Those are the 3 guys that I can think of off the top of my head that have been great.
Yeah.
Great supporters of her.
All of her little white boys.
And even like Pedro Pascal has come out in support of her. I think Elizabeth Olsen did. A lot of people are. Ariana Grande was revealed to have texted her and said, if you ever need anything, I'm here for support. Because I mean, if there's a person that understands hate, especially after all the relationship stuff, it's Ariana Grande.
Sure.
So I'm glad that the girlies, which includes Pedro Pascal, are standing by her. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that article was disgusting, and I hope she loses her job.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a lot in the climate of the job market nowadays. I hope she loses her job.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah, it's a big insult now.
Anyways,
but
on to the topic of movies.
as the movie itself, we had more negative things to say than I think either one of us thought we would.
I
But
think when you
we're
start unraveling some of the issues with it, it pulls out longer threads than you realize when you first start.
Yeah. But I still think overall we had a fun time.
It's watchable for sure.
It was fun and whimsical. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst live action adaptation. Oh my gosh. Maybe I am starting to deteriorate.
See, I told them
Maybe-
at the beginning
maybe
that
3
they
is the
feel
limit.
us go up and down.
Yeah, maybe 3 is the limit. Anyways. But she did great. And she got a paycheck at the end of the day. And she's got more work coming. She's going to be in another, London play. I don't know what it's
Was
called.
it in London? I thought she had
think
another
so.
New York City play.
No. It is. I know for sure it's London. That's the only thing I'm for sure of. I forgot what else. Anything else. But she's, you know what? At the end of the day, has her paycheck and she's booked and busy. So, good for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then also that weekend,
We had Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes story.
which is
Really
also
fun. I think the fact it even got released is a huge win for animation, and it is a huge contender to the fact that Warner Brothers might sell the Wile E. Coyote versus Acme movie, which I'm
I
sure
hope they do.
I
I want
honestly
it
they should
released.
anyways.
Yep.
I don't know why you don't just put that on your free streaming service.
And you know what? While you're at it, sell Batgirl to someone else. I'll still watch it. I'll still take it.
What I can't fathom at all is how you don't just put it on your streaming service. That you have to put all of your content up. With all of the conversation around them, they would get views.
I don't know, man.
It's so crazy. Or sell them to one of these other streaming companies that put it up there,
Yep.
and you'd get some money from it. I can't fathom it. It's so crazy to me.
I
But
don't know, man.
that was a fun
Glad
time.
it was released. It was fun.
And I don't know anything about The Assessment, but I love Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes, that movie came. I don't know anything about that, but I saw that recently, so I added it to the list.
But good for Elizabeth Olsen.
Let us know if it's worth watching if you watched it, and of course, yeah, I'll probably watch it just because she's in it because I love Elizabeth Olsen.
And then
Also,
Alto Nights,
for the Robert De Niro fans, Alto Nights came out.
the second movie that has one person playing two characters.
Yeah. So I did not hear good things about this movie. I've not seen it. I've heard it's boring.
Looks boring, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah. I'll probably still watch it at some point, but I'm certainly not rushing to it.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that.
I would agree.
Let us know if you think it's worth watching. This goes for any movie we didn't watch. We already know we need to watch Black Bag, and then I'm gonna watch Opus, probably The Assessment at some point. But anyways, for the other movies, you should let us know.
Yeah. March 28th, which
We
was
saw
this weekend.
All 3 prominent movies that came out this
We
weekend.
did. We saw The Woman in the Yard.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Death of a Unicorn, and we saw A Working Man.
And we just made a video. We just recorded a video about all 3 of those. Our thoughts on all 3 of those. So you should go watch that.
So
2 bad, 1 good.
yeah.
So
We have all of these movies. Just
wanna
so
do a ranking?
Just so the audience. Sure.
or did you have something else first? Before
I was just gonna ask
ranking?
what was your favorite.
Ooh, let's do like top 3.
Top 3. Okay.
Top 3, and then y'all as well. Let us know your top 3 in the comments, and let's see, or your worst or your least favorite 3.
My
Your
least favorite 3.
So let's do least favorite. Definitely Working Man, A Woman in the Yard.
And then, by process of elimination.
I guess. Oh, Electric State.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I almost skipped over that.
Yeah, those I think are easily the 3 weakest of this month.
They're all pretty bad. I don't think they're worth seeing, to be honest. But
Yeah.
anyways, if you're bored, I guess. If you're bored, just rewatch a movie you know is going to be good, you know? Anyways, that'd be better worth
Yeah,
your
if
time.
you're bored, just watch another one of our videos. Or podcast
Exactly.
episodes.
They're an hour and a half. They're a perfect, 90-minute film, so.
Yeah, it's great.
Exactly.
It's great. Yeah, I think those are easily. So, top 3 favorites. I think for this month.
Okay, in no particular order, I'm just going to list them out. I would say Novocaine, out of the ones we watched, obviously. Novocaine, Borderline, and Death of a Unicorn. Did I miss any? No.
Okay.
Because we haven't seen Black Bag. I don't know if that would kick out one of those, but we haven't seen it, so
Yeah.
we can't have an opinion on it. Sorry.
So on my list for the movies specifically from March, from 3 to 1, one being the best,
Okay.
I would put Novocaine, Snow White, Death of a Unicorn.
Okay. I was going to say Snow White's a close 4th one for me. I don't know. I really liked Borderline. I wanted it to hit, and then I thought it wasn't going to, and then it did. So it's like, I think it deserves to be in the top 3. But Snow White, I would say, is a close 4th one for me, for sure.
Yeah, because Snow White, I gave Snow White and Novocaine the same score.
Okay.
And then Borderline those are both 5.5 out of 10 for me. Borderline's 5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right up there, but I would say
Okay.
ultimately I think just the type of movie it is, I just think doesn't hit as hard for me as
As Snow White.
as like a typical start to end narrative.
Okay.
You know, I think it's just a little bit different than other movies. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's purposely trying to be different, which, great, it's very unique, and I think it's still a fine movie, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the only March movies we didn't really do a video on. I think maybe the only one. I mean, we kind of talked about Looney Tunes, not really.
We
But-
mentioned it a little. I think we talked about at least the important parts of it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have been
top
watching
3.
and aware of in March. Oh, do we
Okay.
maybe want to talk about some of the TV shows real quick?
Yes, I meant to list those and I didn't. But the ones off the top of my head are Daredevil's been going on, White Lotus has been going on. I've been watching the 911 show. It's restarted again, season 8. They're continuing the episodes. Abbott Elementary's been going on for a long time. That's had some episodes. The Residents came out and it was pretty good. It was too long in my opinion. I think it could have halved the amount of episodes, which a lot of people are saying. But it was, pretty good, I guess. And then Adolescence was great, of course.
Yeah,
Those are
Adolescence
the ones
was a
I can
big
think
one.
of off the top of my head.
Adolescence right now is my favorite TV show of the year that we've seen so far,
Yes.
and I'm
I agree with
anticipating that is the only one I'm almost positive will be in my top 10 at the end of the year.
Me too. Absolutely. This one and White Lotus. Adolescence and White Lotus are the two that I'm like, they're going to be in
It's
the top
gonna
10
be hard
shows.
for White Lotus to get knocked out as well.
And if Daredevil can keep up what it did in the last 2 episodes for the rest of the show, I think it can stay in the top 10 as well.
Maybe
We'll see.
I feel like I fear Daredevil is heading to middle of what I have right now, and there's still some great shows to come out this year. So
That's true.
we'll see Daredevil. Yeah,
It's easily, it has to keep up what it did in the last 2 or it's not going to have a chance, I think, as well.
and then we also did finish up Harley Quinn and Invincible
Yes.
this month.
Yes.
So some
And we made videos on that, so. Yeah.
So those were really fun. Some fun animation that we've had this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, over half the amount of TV shows that I've logged so far have been animated.
Mm-hmm.
So been very fun. And superhero. I like my cartoons.
Thank you. Cartoons. So, yeah, very exciting. Had some pretty good stuff this month. It was an okay month. Better for TV than movies, I would say. But it had some, movies by the end
It
of the
was
month for
fun.
sure. Had some solid ones, and we'll see. We'll see. We thought it was going to be a better month than it was. So we'll see about April because we think it's going to be a good month, but now we're a little scared.
Yeah, and speaking of April,
Do you want to say your top? Okay, let's list out. We can do the ranking at the end.
Okay.
I feel like is that still okay?
sure,
So, okay.
great. Okay.
So,
So,
April movies. Let us know if we're
April.
leaving any of them out. I do think we're gonna add some to this list by the end of the month for sure, and we'll make an April recap at the end of the month. So.
Very exciting.
But this is our anticipation. You had me recently add Screamboat, which I'm not seeing.
I imagine
You
it'll be
could talk about that.
I imagine it'll be too small of a release for us to even see in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, Screamboat is because Steamboat Willie, the original Disney cartoon, has recently become public domain. So it's getting the Winnie the Pooh treatment, where they just make really horrible horror movies based off of it. And and there's a trailer available that you can watch. It looks really bad. But an interesting
After a
element
Working Man, I'm never
an-
going
an-
to a movie I know I'm not gonna like.
But an interesting element that I was hoping to maybe see in the trailer was that it talks about how it is a horror comedy, late night ferry ride in New York City. The passengers will have a real nightmare. Among them are 5 friends, all of them based on famous Disney princesses. So I was
didn't
interested
have
to
any
see
of that in the trailer.
if there was any kind of hint towards that at all. There was someone in like some kind of blue dress, so maybe we have a Cinderella there in the very
okay.
background. It was not shown in the front at all, so I feel like I'm kind of interested to see how they kind of adapt those into modern day New Yorkers. But I don't know. I
Anyways,
think
you
it's going to
have
be a
fun watching
maybe if
that
I ever
movie.
get to watch that.
Oh yeah, you have fun watching that movie if you get to watch it.
And that is on April 2nd. April 4th, so just 2 days later, we have our first big weekend for movies in April.
Minecraft. we feeling about that one, gang? On a scale from 0 to 10, how much anticipation do you have? Excitement?
Okay,
Do you have
so
for this
I will
movie?
say, I think I'm more excited to see how it performs than I am to watch it.
I agree.
So, and I
I'm there
think that's
too.
always an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say if I had to watch it, let me even just remind myself what all else is coming out this month. I would say probably
I was sitting
A
at like
3?
I was sitting at like a 4.
3 or a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really interesting to see Danielle Brooks here after being nominated for an Oscar.
Girl, you deserve
And
better.
So much love to Divine Joy Randolph. I love that she won her Oscar. I think she did great in The Holdovers. I was still personally pushing for Danielle Brooks to win for The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
She
was so good in that movie.
was so good in that, I think. And she would definitely have had my vote. And I think it's interesting to see that this is her next project.
You know what? But she's gonna kill it. She's gonna be funny.
I'm sure she's gonna be hilarious. I've seen her a little bit in.
And I
a
hope
couple
she gets
episodes
that
of Orange is the
paycheck.
New Black. I hope.
Because this is a blockbuster. So
Mhm.
maybe that's why she took it. She's like, I didn't win the Oscar. Let me get a fat paycheck. Well, probably not fat, but like.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'd necessarily
blockbuster.
bet against Minecraft. I think it has the
Box
highest
office-wise.
potential success that we've seen so far this year.
Because I feel like it's giving the vibes of like Super Mario Bros. But I don't. It's not as. I don't know. That's
Because
hard
at least
because
Mario Bros. Looked visually appealing.
Yeah.
I think there's
The
still a
animation
lot of
was
debate on
great.
what the animation looks like for
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft, and then
I think
putting
it
real
could
people in that
easily-
environment.
Yeah. I think it. I fear it may get the Dungeons and Dragons treatment. I fear. Except I liked the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I was
movie.
about to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Box office wise, that it flopped.
I don't know. I truly would not bet against this. It's very established. Video games are having a moment right
Yeah.
now in adaptations.
Yeah.
So I would say if I had to ballpark what this would be about, and Mario Bros. Didn't break $1 billion, did it?
I think it did. Or
Oh,
it
I
got
did think
really close.
I know it made a
but I
lot.
think it did surpass $1 billion. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be our first $1 billion movie by any means.
But I do think it will probably be really good.
I think it's going to
Domestically,
hit like
I think
the.
it's definitely going to be the highest grossing so far.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I would say,
I'm kind of thinking of like the 700s maybe.
but it
Maybe
is a week-
800?
if I had to conservatively
know.
guess because of how movies have been doing, I'm gonna guess around mid 600 range.
Okay.
That's where my guess is gonna go.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And then there's Jack Black, and Jack Black has been having some problems even within the video game adaptation space. So it's
Can we? Oh, guys, I thought we weren't recording, and my stomach dropped. We are in fact recording.
perfect.
Ugh, I was like 38 minutes. Oh my gosh.
And then also that
Anyways.
weekend is Freaky Tales, which we just saw a trailer
Starring
for,
Pedro Pascal.
and Angus Cloud, and that is another
Mhm.
post. What is it?
I forgot how to say that. It's after his death. I
Yeah.
forgot what the. I don't know how to say the term. I could picture the term in my head, and
It's
I
like
don't know how to
post
say.
humorous.
It's like humorous, but it's not.
But it's not humorous.
It's-
It is not a laughing
I don't know
matter.
how to say the word. So sorry.
But
But
it'll be nice to see him again. I think he's done some awesome work.
I think this is. I don't know if it's even releasing in theaters. I think it is, but not many.
Yeah, this screams a smaller release.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the trailer didn't blow me away.
It didn't with me either, but I do like Pedro Pascal and Angus Cloud. So
And Dominique Thorne is in it as well, who's also going to have her
Yes.
Ironheart show later this year. So
yep.
hopefully
So-
this is introducing her to some of the more film niche people
Yeah.
who might be interested in continuing to watch her in that
If
show.
it gets like the borderline pipeline where it goes to rent for like $7-8, we'll definitely watch it.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
So, also and then I'd imagine it probably won't have a huge box office pull.
No,
I would say probably pretty small, especially considering
absolutely.
there's not even, I think, a lot of talk about it. But
Yeah.
it's also Pedro Pascal, so I wouldn't put that by it.
But a Minecraft movie.
Next to Minecraft movie, that's a
Yeah.
great point.
And then speaking of, we also have Hell of a Summer, which is Finn Wolfhard's directorial debut.
Which is
I can
very
say words.
fun.
Very fun for him. It actually looks pretty good. I'm excited for that movie. It looks like kind of Friday the 13th like, and they do reference that
It
film.
gives me
so.
kind of Fear Street vibes, and I love
Yes,
me some Fear
I feel
Street.
like those two combined, it gives me those vibes, which I liked both. So I'm excited for. I very much doubt it's going to be in our theater.
But I will be
Hopefully-
watching this at the earliest chance I get.
Yes,
because
me
I
too.
love the genre.
Yes.
I love the trailer looks super fun.
It's about a bunch of camp counselors who start to get murdered one by one. That's
Yeah.
what it's about. So Freaky Tales, I don't even really.
We watched the trailer and I couldn't tell you what that's about. It's a bunch
I
of different
think it's
stories
like-
kind of being told consecutively.
Yes. It's like it said something like 1986 or 87, the mid 80s, and Pedro Pascal is involved in some like dirty work, and he wants to get out of it, and they don't want to let him out of it, and
Oh,
that's
here.
about all I got.
Here, let
from
me
it.
help you there.
Okay.
Freaky Tales is an action movie written and directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. Freaky Tales follows a corrupt cop, an NBA star, a female rap duo, a debut collector, teenage punks, and neo-Nazis in 4 interconnected stories set in 1987, Oakland,
Interesting.
California, and they will all embark on a collision course in a fever dream of showdowns and battles. The cast of Freaky Tales is full of familiar faces with talents like Pedro Pascal, Ben Mendelsohn, Dominic Thorne, Jay Ellis, Angus Cloud, Jack Champion, forgot he was in that, Tom
Oh,
Hanks, and a lot more.
I did not see
I did
Tom
not
Hanks
see Tom
or
Hanks.
Jack Champion.
I
in
did
the-
see him in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Dang.
What a
You know what it
handsome
sounds
man.
like? It sounds freaky.
It does sound freaky.
Sounds like Freaky Tales. Anyways.
Do you see the tails? Were they freaky? Yeah.
Right. Also, so April 7th is not just a goof, which from my understanding, I've barely seen anything about it, but I believe it's a Goofy movie documentary.
Documentary?
I was wanting to say Terry for some reason. I wanted to end it with Terry, and I don't know why. Anyways, it's releasing on Disney Plus, which I love the Goofy movie, or a Goofy movie, excuse me. I love that
Interesting.
movie, so I'll watch it. I mean, it's not.
Hey, audience, are you ready for Alicia to be really aghast at me? I've never seen the Goofy
you've
movie.
never. You're missing out on the best movie ever made, ever.
I definitely want to.
Ever
We should
made.
watch it before that documentary comes out.
Yeah, it's really good. It has his son Max in it,
Mhm.
and it.
I know
Low-key,
the basic premise.
Look, it made me cry. It's so like.
And then it had the
Goofy's
spin-off
such a
of
good dad.
Goof Troop.
It wasn't that good. The sequel wasn't that good, but you have the Eye to Eye song, which is very iconic. I think you'll recognize it because I think somebody danced to it on the Dancing with the Stars season for Disney Night,
Yes.
I believe.
I think that was.
So.
Oh, it was the group song.
Yeah,
Or the group dance.
Eye to Eye, and then Just Can't Wait to Be King or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll finally get to hear it in the context of the movie, and I would love to rewatch that with you. Absolutely.
Very exciting.
So April 11th, the next big weekend, you have the Amateur Rami
Amateur.
Malek. I know you've seen the trailer for that. That's been
Mhm.
everywhere.
If you have not seen the trailer for that, then
You are
you don't
so
have a phone
lucky.
and you're not listening to this right
You're
now.
so lucky though, because that's been so overplayed. It's one of those, that one and Drop, two of the ones that are coming out this weekend. So
Interesting.
ready to never see those trailers again.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty loaded weekend.
Yeah.
And then also Warfare is dropping, an A24 war movie, which I think will
Mhm.
be interesting.
So I'm guessing the Amateur and Drop are going to come to our theater.
I would assume so.
I'm hoping Warfare goes to the Hour Away theater
Mhm.
so we can see. I
we
know
will
for a
be
fact,
making the drive for that one.
Yes, and I know for a fact Drop is going there. So if it for some reason, even though we've gotten a million trailers here, if for some reason that doesn't come here,
Yeah.
we can go there.
We
and
will
see
do
it. So
everything
we can do a double
to see
feature.
those three.
Absolutely. I think I'm honestly excited for all three, and tired of seeing the Amateur and the Drop trailers.
I
Such
think
a
it's so
just-
funny when I find those trailers that just always play. And I'm more excited to never see the trailer again than I am to see the movie.
That
Even if
was
I'm
me with-
originally excited to see the movie.
Yeah.
What
It
were you
gets to
saying?
a point. It reminds me of how I was with Speak No Evil.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I was so excited to watch that movie because I was excited to never see the trailer
There
again.
was something. I think there was some movie I watched this month. I don't think, or sometime this year. I think it might have been. I don't think it was Mickey 17. There was one that was really
was
bad that I
thinking
was
it
glad
was
it was
Mickey.
over.
I don't know. I don't
What's
know,
it
man.
like to die?
Or Novocaine. I was sick of the Novocaine.
That was
yes.
it. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. I'm so glad we watched that movie. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be, but I'm so glad I never have to watch that
Oh
trailer
my
again.
gosh. Anyway, so that'll be a really good weekend.
Yeah. Of these
Amateur-
three, which one would you say you're most excited for? Let's
I
rank 'em.
think the one that's going to be the best, quality-wise. Ooh, that's hard because I was gonna say Warfare, but because that has such a great cast too.
I think it's a great cast.
I'm gonna say Warfare, but I
would say
honestly
Warfare.
feel like a pretty close second is The Amateur. I'm excited for that movie. Seems like a good concept. I like Rami Malek.
I
But
enjoy
I do
Rami
think-
Malek, but I think the trailers have not made that look particularly unique. I think.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna kill them, but he's not gonna do it with guns. He's gonna use his brain.
I don't know, man. I kind of like that.
And I mean,
I'm
sure,
like, okay.
I guess go gadget, break glass.
Because I like the line
Break
where they're
really
like, maybe
unsafe
you.
pool.
Well, I'm like, I like the line where they're like, maybe you misunderstood this individual. He's in 4 different places at once. Like, I'm like, okay, there's elements here that we could do something with. Let's see if they make it interesting or if they make it. Okay, whatever. We've done this before. We've seen it
I
before.
kind of think it has the potential to be kind of like Novocaine for me, where I go in
Yes.
with kind of like, I
Mid
think this will be
expectations.
all right.
Yes.
I think it can very easily rise above my expectations.
I
think there's a
agree.
lot of room for them to do it. Will
Yeah.
they?
Mhm.
We'll see.
The
We'll see.
thing, my only drawback about Warfare is just it has great talent, but the trailer doesn't give a whole lot of way of like exactly what they're gonna tell with this movie, where they're going. I mean, it's gonna be emotional. It's gonna be a war movie, but it can. You have to be careful not to fall into the tropes of the same old war movie. That's what I'm worried about. That they're gonna waste the talent, but I hope they don't.
We'll see. Well, because I remember the whole thing of Warfare is that it's based off of someone's like actual account, so it's
Okay.
based off of a real story.
Okay, so
and
that could be
So
interesting.
I think it'll be interesting to see what perspective they're trying to show there.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I think it's interesting. I've seen some people on film Twitter try and act like the actors in this movie are like they were described as losers for being in this movie. Respectfully, these actors
I
are
feel like
too
I'm missing
talented
something.
because it's
I think I'm missing something with that.
my understanding is it's people viewing it as war propaganda, but also
it's just a war movie.
It's like soldiers aren't the people in charge of what they do there. So
And
I think
like you said, it's like an account of from a real person,
yeah,
based off a real story.
it's one of their people
Uh-huh.
gets hit and they have to deal with that. And
Yeah.
I think
I feel like I'm missing something there. Tell me if I'm missing something, some controversial thing that I've missed. I really have not seen it. I've just seen people angry, and I don't understand why. I'm missing something there,
and
maybe.
my thing is, if you're angry at it and you're not verbalizing why, I think that's kind of a sign that
Maybe
you
you're
don't
just
have a great
joining
argument?
maybe you're just joining the bandwagon of, oh, war propaganda movie. Oh, somebody said it was war propaganda movie. I hate this movie. Da, da, da. Maybe it's that kind of chain thing.
probably, but
I don't
I'm still
know.
very excited for it.
Me too.
And
Then
drop.
drop. I'm more excited for this than you are, but I will also admit there are some scenes in that trailer that look so stupid.
I'm
It also seems very predictable. If the person you think did it actually does it, I'm gonna roll my
so
eyes.
here's
I'm gonna be like, okay.
We're gonna. It's not a spoiler because we haven't seen The Amateur or The Drop. Here are my.
But if you
assumption-
don't want to hear
Here are my
our
assumptions
guesses,
on the movie, and if you
yeah.
don't want to hear it and have me potentially be right and possibly ruin the movie for you, skip the next
20,
2
30
minutes.
Okay.
As I want to talk about what you think. about
Okay.
them.
Okay.
So, I think for the amateur, I think his wife is going to be in on the kidnapping for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't see a body, she's in on it.
Like
and she's alive
Novocaine.
somewhere. Yes, I think
like
it's going to be
Novocaine.
very Novocaine. And I think, honestly, it has some work to put in to match Novocaine, if I'm being perfectly honest with
True.
my expectation.
Very true.
And then for drop, my assumption is that the boy's father is going to be the one behind everything, and the whole date thing is supposed to torture her for something that she did against him, and then it'll be some reveal that he has like a friend who's in the house, and I think the woman at the bar, the how's your date going, is gonna also be in on it, because you need someone in the bar to actually be a part of that whole thing. So that's how I think that movie's gonna go. I don't think
I
either.
agree with that.
I don't think either of those twists are super interesting on their own.
No.
So hopefully both of them have more stuff in store for us.
Yeah, I agree. And I just don't like the scene where the window breaks and she's flying out the
'Cause
window. and
why
running
would that
on the
happen?
drape. Why would that happen? And how does she get? Whatever.
Yeah.
The guy probably pulls her from that.
I believe that.
Like whatever. I roll.
Very.
But it has some good talent. It has the guy from It Ends With Us, and he's actually in a few things. I've seen his face in a few different things recently, and I thought he was the best actor from that movie, and so I'm glad he's the one getting more work from it. I'm glad he's not like blacklisted because of everything else
Sure.
going on, because he's not involved in that.
And hey, Jenny Slate was just in The Electric State.
Good for her. And then it has the girl from White Lotus season 2.
White Lotus girlfriend meets It Ends With Us boyfriend.
Exactly. She's the, if you don't know, she's the wife of
Theo James's
what's his
character.
name? Yeah, Theo James's character. So.
And
yeah.
she eats that
She-
season.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm still excited for that movie. I'm like, well, I like the two main characters, so let's see what they do with it, you
Yeah.
know, kind of thing. It's kind of where I was with Borderline, although I liked the concept of that one more, but we'll see. We'll see. And supposedly it's based off not a true story, but like they said, I think like the director's daughter got a drop of like Shrek memes.
Well, yeah.
So they said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
horror.
She went to high school? Who hasn't
We
had
got-
that in high school?
I remember one of the scandals of my high school was we sent like airdrops of like drama of our principal, because I think he like liked girls, and then that went around through airdrop, and it was a big deal.
I'd imagine so.
Yup.
That sounds
So-
pretty big.
He was creepy. I'm glad he got fired. He was weird. He was weird. Anyways,
Moving on to April 18th.
Yes,
Sinners.
That's the only movie we have for that date. I'm sure we're missing something. I just haven't heard about anything else. So, and that's the one we're most excited for. I can tell you that right now. So, very excited for that.
Ryan Coogler, starring two Michael B. Jordans, Haley Steinfeld. Oh, I
There's a
forget her
pattern
name,
this
but
year.
B-15 from Loki,
Yeah,
and
the
also
actress's
Deadpool and
name.
Wolverine.
Mhm.
She's
great.
in that. Oh, and then the newest trailer looks so good. I think we're looking at a good couple potential noms here.
Yes.
Whenever the award circuit starts
I
up,
hope so.
I
Especially
think
since it's
Score-
Ryan Coogler.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think Score is going to be pretty solid
Yeah.
on this one.
Oof. I
And
hope
then
so.
I'm really interested to see how
Excited.
the acting is, because I think if they get this right,
Maybe hair and makeup too with all the vampire stuff.
ooh, that's another good
Ooh.
one. The visuals all look really good from the trailer.
Yep.
I'm just so excited. And then if they have an original song in there,
Mm-hmm.
because even that one note, the songs were so good, it pierces the veil to the other side.
Right.
Somebody take me home.
It was so
It's
good.
chills every
Ugh.
time I hear it. You want to talk about trailers that we see a lot? I will watch that 100
That
times
is
in
true.
a row
That
and
is true.
never get sick of it.
Yep.
There is such an art to making a trailer that is easy to watch.
If that movie is not as good as it looks, that might kill me.
That's the
Ugh,
thing. If that movie isn't as good as it
please.
looks, those trailer people need to get a raise.
True.
'Cause
True.
I didn't love the
Such a good
teaser, I
trailer.
will say, but this trailer
It looks great.
chills every time.
Hmm.
We gonna kill every last one of you.
Haley Steinfeld ate that
Ugh.
line.
That's gonna be super big. And I would love if that was maybe here. Do you think there's potential for her? How awards
No.
heavy do you think that this movie in general would be?
Oscars don't treat horror movies well.
Is it? Well, I guess it is vampires. I'm interested to see how horror-y it gets, though.
I don't know. It is Ryan Coogler, but it is kind of horror, thriller, supernatural.
And it's very early. Ugh, I feel like I'm going to feel... I feel like this is like this year. Has the potential to be this year's Challengers.
Well, very different vibes, but
Well,
yes, as far as
I
treatment,
think
yes.
the way it'll be treated.
I agree. But at least with Challengers, that was like ridiculous. This movie, at least, you know, there's a pattern of behavior from the Oscars treating movies like this. Challengers was crazy. I was like, guys, this is your movie. This is your type of movie. And then they just ignored it. Zendaya didn't get one nomination. Ugh. Oh my gosh, she had two
Crazy.
great options right there, Academy, right there. I'm not saying she had to win. I'm saying it was absolutely ridiculous to not get a
Why
nom.
do you not want Zendaya to for sure show up to your awards show?
I know.
Did you
Don't
not
you
see
want-
her on the Dune 2 press tour?
Right? Don't you want her to slay those looks? I really wonder if she was going to do like, well, I mean, she would have dressed up as whatever movie she was nominated for, but that would have been cool if she was nominated for both and then like tried to combine
Did
the
like
vibes.
the down the middle?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
play
that'd be
tennis,
fun.
viva la resistance.
Oh my god. Anyways.
I serve tennis, I serve justice.
Dang. She's going to get that Oscar one day too. Don't you worry. We're going to get it for her.
She better.
We're going to get it for her. It's not going to be for the Odyssey, unfortunately, because she's going to be in that movie for about 5 minutes. But anyways.
I'm interested to see who all gets attention for the Odyssey, but we're not talking
It's
about the
going to be
Odyssey.
the main two.
So
sure.
that's Sinners is the only movie opening currently for April 18th, at least in
Yes.
theaters from what we can see.
How do we get to Zendaya from there? Anyways.
So
I'm
April
excited.
25th, the next weekend,
Yes.
we have On Swift Horses, The Accountant 2, The Legend of Ochi, and the Until Dawn adaptation. Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay, so On Swift Horses is a movie about this like these couples and their friend groups, and everybody likes everybody.
The bisexuals
It
have
was like-
awakened.
This is literally the movie for bisexuals. Absolutely, everybody's kissing everybody. Everybody's getting together with everybody. Everyone's cheating.
And then Will Poulter plays the straight man.
So-
Presumably.
So
That's
you
what the trailer
think.
looks
That's
like.
what I said. So you think. Also, can we just shout out Will Poulter because he's having a moment.
Another one.
And another one. That's 3 within like a month. 3 movies that are coming out, and they all look good. So,
Yeah.
well, one was good because we've seen it, and then the other 2 look good. So he's just killing it, and I love that for him. But
Indeed.
it also has Daisy Edgar Jones. She's been in a lot. She's been in.
She was in Twisters most recently, right?
Yes, she's also in. What is it called?
You're doing great.
What is it called? Can't think of it.
What is it
Hang on.
called?
It's the one where she met. I can't even remember his name. Oh my gosh. Daisy Edgar Jones. Do you want to talk about the other movie while I look?
I will say real quick for anyone who hasn't heard about On Swift Horses.
Normal
the-
People. Paul
right,
Mescal.
Right.
And Where the Crawdads Sing. Fresh.
Oh, I think I did not realize that was her in The Crawdads Sing.
Yep.
But, so the summary for On Swift Horses, for those who have not heard of it, it is a romantic drama directed by Daniel Minahan, based on Shannon Pufall's 2019 novel of the same name, On Swift Horses, follows Muriel, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, and her husband Lee, Will Poulter, who are starting a new life in California after Lee's return from the Korean War. One day, Lee's charismatic brother, good to know, Julius, played by Jacob Elordi, arrives.
Good to know they won't get together.
Well,
hopefully.
Looking at you, White Lotus.
Oof.
Julius arrives, and though Lee would like the 3 of them to build a life together, Julius travels to Las Vegas, where he gets a job and starts
Wait,
a new but secret
Doesn't she hold
relationship.
his hand in the trailer?
She
Ew,
does.
No. Keep it bisexual. Don't move towards incest, guys. Please. Anyways. That's gonna be a steamy movie. It's probably not gonna come to our
Wait,
theater.
there's a second paragraph. Meanwhile,
What?
back in somehow
Oh my gosh.
somehow the plot summary returned. Meanwhile, back in California, Muriel begins a secret life as she starts gambling on racehorses. On top of that, Muriel unexpectedly
On swift
finds
horses.
a love she never thought was possible when she meets Sandra, played by Sasha Kaye, her neighbor. Also starring in On Swift Horses are Diego Calva, Kat Cunning, and Don Sways. Very interesting.
Good
very
cast.
interesting.
Good concept. Looks steamy.
I'm
I'm
interested
excited.
to see how Jacob Elordi does.
Yeah.
Because he's always had roles that border on being queer,
But then just don't.
but then it doesn't commit to it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested to see him commit to it. And then also, this I think has potential to be his best performance that I've seen of him yet,
Mm-hmm.
followed by him as Elvis and...
He was good in that one.
Why can't I remember
Oh.
her name?
It's.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, what is Priscilla?
Priscilla, yes, he's so good
I was
in
like,
that.
I gotta know her name.
Oh, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. He was a better Elvis in that movie than Elvis in Elvis.
And he didn't permanently change his voice.
Kidding. Who was Elvis?
Austin Butler.
Yep, he played a much
Oh
better
my
Elvis.
gosh. Anyways, I'm excited for that movie. Then we have The Accountant 2, which actually we weren't clocking at all, but we saw the trailer and we both were like, this looks kind of good.
It's pretty good.
Because we
trailer.
haven't seen the first Accountant movie,
Yeah,
which
I'm
we're
very
going
interested
to.
to see Accountant 2, so we will catch up on the last one before we see it.
Yes.
So I'm very interested to see that.
It has Ben Affleck and John Bernthal.
Yeah. So we
John
get to see-
Bernthal is in The
we get to
Bear.
see
He's
him.
Punisher.
We get to see a test run of if the Punisher is able to work in the box office. So
Box office.
honestly, with Spider-Man 4 being in development,
Hey.
there's some potential there. And then-
Maybe.
I
We'll
don't know.
see.
We'll see.
And then The Legend of Ochi. There's not a. I mean, it doesn't give us a whole lot in the trailer. It more just looks weird than anything. But
It looks kind of like they're at war with these big evil monsters, and you're going to be trained to kill them. And it's like, oh, so there's just these monsters that we kill because you tell us to.
right.
This is just a baby. It's not hurting anyone, so I'm going to take it home. But then, oh no, she was kidnapped by this monster.
Yeah.
It seems pretty basic, but I think they're trying to do like an art house approach to that kind of story.
Also has Finn Wolfhard in it.
Yeah,
So,
it's
good
gonna
for
be a
him.
good month for him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for him. He's a good actor. And then it has Willem Dafoe as well. And then the last movie, which
And-
we have very. You have
never mind,
another.
never mind.
Okay. The last movie, which we have very different thoughts on, is Until Dawn. Now, I will say, I had absolutely no idea that this was based off a game.
It is.
And I've never played the game, nor do I know a single thing about it. So I'll be very excited and interested to have two way different experiences and knowledge, two different people who have way different knowledges of the game. One with none, one with some. And what they think about it. Because I'm going into it just as any other movie. And you're going into it thinking, this is a video game adaptation, or so they
it's-
say.
But that's the thing. It's just not.
Yeah.
Because it's... So, Until Dawn, there is a series of PlayStation games that are kind of choose-your-own adventures. So, but it's basically your characters can die, and you, like, switch what characters you're playing. And if your character dies, they're dead, and the story
Okay.
continues.
Okay.
So, and this was the first in that line of that type of game that PlayStation puts out. And Rami Malek was in the original cast,
Okay.
and it
This
was
is
a
way
super
different.
big reveal. It's the whole point is these friends are in this like mountain, snowy, like ski lodge, and then you got a serial killer, you got woods monsters, and you got ghosts, and then you're
Okay.
trying to see what is happening, how they're all connected, and like there's people who are separated, and you're trying to find each other and survive, and it escalates really well.
I feel like it's hard to do an adaptation of a choose your own adventure game, and I feel like you just, in that case, shouldn't.
Well, the
Just
thing
don't.
is,
Just make your own movie because the
this
concept's
is
interesting.
not
but
that.
yeah.
Because it's just completely
So why even bother saying?
Why
it's
is it
an
called Until
adaptation?
Dawn?
Yeah, yeah.
like
That's
until,
interesting.
you could have called it Until the Morning or Until the Sand Falls, and it's like cool. That's the same
something
title. It's just not, you're not claiming it to be an adaptation of anything. And like the serial killer mask in that first shot in the trailer, that's the mask the serial killer wears in.
So they definitely are making an adaptation.
What they said when they were making it was they wanted to make a story that reflects the original, but it doesn't give away everything if you've seen that. However, that's what an adaptation is. So you're not actually adapting this. You're taking its title and
doing
a mask.
Your own thing. Yeah. Interesting. Well, that's the difference is I don't really care because I didn't play the game. But obviously I feel bad for the people who did. And
honestly, I might.
Then who are you appealing to?
After it comes out, I'm going to let you watch it, and then I'm going to have us watch a playthrough of it.
Right.
And then
and that's my thing is who are they appealing to if not? I don't think this is an interesting enough concept to appeal to a big enough audience that didn't play the game, and it's definitely not going to appeal to the people who did play the game. So I definitely think this is going to flop, and maybe that's for the best. I still think it looks interesting. I'm still going to watch it.
It would be an interesting concept if they weren't so clearly just trying to profit off of an existing franchise.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. But that's it. That's all we have for April. Let us know if we're missing any.
What of all of this, I think we can say Sinners is our most anticipated.
Yes.
Let's say top 3.
Sinners. Ooh,
I would say Warfare's up there as well for me.
Warfare and On Swift Horses.
I would probably say Hell of a Summer is in that top 3 for me.
It looks pretty good.
I'm a sucker for a good slasher.
I'm a sucker for a good drama and slasher. I like everything. But I love the cast of On Swift Horses
is probably 4th for me.
Oof. I'm so excited.
So
I hope I get to watch it by the time we do our recap. I don't know where it's going to go, so I don't know.
So,
we'll
but
see.
yeah. What are you least excited to watch?
If I'm going to be so honest, I'm least excited to watch either Freaky Tales or the Legend of OG. I'm so sorry. I just don't know enough to care. It hasn't really hooked me.
I agree.
Don't know, man. But definitely Freaky Tales is the bottom one just because it didn't hook me, and I don't know.
I think Until Dawn is going to be... Well, I'm probably not going to be able to see Screamboat. I would assume that'll probably be the worst of all of these.
Oh, that's true. My
bad.
Of the
ones I'm able to, I'll
mine.
likely be able to watch. I think Until Dawn will be the worst.
Okay. That's fair. And I don't anticipate Legend of OG coming to our theater either. I don't know if I want to.
I'm sure we'll find an ability or a way to watch it.
We'll see.
Because I feel inherently this feels like the kind of movie that would be an awards frontrunner that will, well, maybe not a frontrunner, but in the awards conversation.
I'm happy you think that.
I think it's trying to be.
Okay. I don't, but it's okay.
I think anyone who casts Willem Dafoe is at least thinking about it.
Yeah.
Look at Nosferatu.
Loved Nosferatu. Loved that movie. It was great.
But anyways, let us know what you are most excited about to watch in April.
Yeah.
And
if we're missing any as well.
Missing anything.
What's your top 3 favorite of March, bottom 3 favorite of March, and top 3 most anticipated for April? And least anticipated if you want to. And then, of course, anything we're missing.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have. So thank you guys so much. This is the end of our first month of being in the podcast. It's not a month, but it's our first. Like, we started in March and we're ending March and we're going into April. So
I'm excited.
Very exciting to start a whole month.
It should start to get more interesting too with April, hopefully. If not, definitely May.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think things will pick up at least a little bit. I think even if Minecraft doesn't hit, Sinners is going to be fun for at least in our world.
Woo!
So
excited.
We hope you guys have a great April. We hope you had a great March.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, until you hear from us again, I'm Luke.
I'm Alicia.
And thank you for watching Not So Straight Nerds.